Hello everybody, this is Indian Ranch and I just got a message from a YouTuber. Well, he quit from YouTube according to his last video, but still he wrote to me from his YouTube account. This guy is Gaming Vitor, that's his nickname, and he asked questions, and this is pretty good because I was waiting for those for a pretty long time now. And people are just not interested in this coaching thing, it seems. I know. I think people would be interested in that, but just YouTube doesn't show my content because maybe my way how I just tell stuff to you is not enough good. Because you are not watching these videos on a rate, so YouTube could recommend it more to others as well. But it's just a YouTube thing. I should be more active, more compelling to people on YouTube, but YouTube is not my main focus right now. Still, game development is my main focus. I'm just trying to find something which works to grow a little following here and there, and maybe on the long run it will be something better. But anyway, so if you watch this video, still you should know that I'm a game developer, I'm a project manager, I'm a solution architect with many years of experience, and I'm here to help you out if you have questions. It's free and I'm a nice guy. So his questions was basically about revenue share, motivation and stuff like that. So maybe it's better to quote it. I was curious of what all help you got with your game. Sounds like you almost do it all. And with that thought, what is the key to motivation without money? Yes, the dreaded rev share, but for me it is the only option. And then he talks about his team and that he tried to make deadlines, but people were not motivated to work when they had the deadlines, but when they didn't have the deadline, they just haven't finished their shit. And our friend is just confused about this whole thing. So yeah, motivation, revenue share, working with others, teams and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and here is something, an interesting thing, that I am always asked to give deadlines. When I didn't, nothing was done in a timely manner. Now I do, and everyone moans. What am I missing here, bro? Nope, that's not what I wanted to quote actually. But yeah, this part. When I mentioned this specific date, it felt like everyone lost motivation. Instead of getting excited about earning money soon. Yeah, I'm confused. Okay, so that's the question, that's the topic. And so first of all, yeah, I'm working on this game mostly on my own. It means that I'm doing a lot of different kind of works, including audio stuff, graphics, programming, marketing, design, and basically nearly everything. I had some contractors for graphics mostly, but it could be a whole video how I worked with those guys, because basically I had a really low budget, and to compensate that fact I tried to work with people from India, from Malaysia, and basically from those third world countries where people are basically even poorer than we are here in Hungary, which is just a peripheral of Europe, basically some kind of slavery of the Western countries, I have to say. But yeah, so still Hungary has this Eastern European wealth level, which is definitely better than what people have in India or in in Africa or stuff, or Bulgaria or countries like that. And I had to work with them so I could have all of those stuff for a lower price. But nothing is free on the world. So when I don't pay with money, I pay with my time, with my patience, and with quality. And actually, the first guy who accepted the job just told me at the half of the work that he just won't be able to finish it. This work is too much, and his explanation was that nobody would accept a scope like that for this amount of money. And I asked, but man, then why did you accept it? And he just couldn't tell me a clear answer. But you know, this happens a lot of times with artists. These guys are not really. No, I don't want to say that because it's just not true. So it's not true that artists are not reliable, but often artists are not reliable. Okay, I cannot get out from this. But anyway, so my point is that the second graphic artist then did basically the very same thing. He was just telling me that unfortunately he has a lot of other stuff to do right now in his life, and at least he wasn't living from it. So the first guy made a living by creating graphics. The second guy was just, you know, trying to get some extra bucks by creating graphics. And then I found a third graphic artist who actually helped me to really finish all the stuff that I need. And right now it's just a really well working thing. Actually, he's a Hungarian who lived in Romania at that time. But the quality that I had to explain things again and again, because oftentimes those people cannot really speak English very well. I'm not a native, as you can hear, and I make a lot of mistakes, but I will understand you, whatever you want to say to me. But those people won't really understand you all the time. And this means that you have to check them more often. You have to describe things more times, basically. So eventually they will understand what you want in reality. So everything has a price, but I could pay with my time instead of money. So that's how I get my help, basically. And of course the music is licensed from another guy, because I make music, but I'm not really good in that specific genre I had to create for Computer Tycoon. So it was easier to buy something which is just really good, and it turned out. With buying soundtracks is just not a hard thing. You know, it's really not a hard thing to put soundtracks into a game. And there are a lot of sites where you can find pretty good music. But I do graphics myself as well, because oftentimes I just got a raw sketch or raw material or something which was not finished, illustrations which were just not good. Sometimes I got so low quality stuff that I just had to work on them. Luckily, I enjoy working on graphics, and I have some talent and experience with that as well, but this is not my strength. So the worst part of that when I have to work with graphics is that I'm slower than a professional. That's the worst part. And of course I cannot do everything what they can do, and not on a level as they can do, but I can learn specific things, how I can reach them, how I can create them. I can learn the work process, and I can, you know, just copy things and stuff like that. And I had to do that often, and all the assets, the marketing assets were made by me. So I also work on that. But with programming, with design, with the marketing part, with the whole concept and testing, and you know, everything that is connected with the game, all the other stuff is just only me. And here comes the question: if you want to work with others and you don't really have a budget, even a small budget like I had, how can you solve this? Yeah, a lot of guy tries to solve it by revenue share, But revenue share is problematic because, 20% of zero is still zero. And in other videos, I already said that more than 95% of indie games doesn't get any income. And from that 5%, still only 30% gets enough to break even. And we are not talking about profit. And we are not talking about high wages, just, minimum wage at all. So it's just really hard to make a game and to sell, market a game so that you will really have that money coming in. So for the last question, for this last thought of why they were not excited about earning money soon, because probably they know that most likely they won't earn money. I don't know how much experience you have in game development, but from your questions, I think that you don't really have much experience. At least, maybe, you could make games in all your life, but until you haven't released a commercially, at least moderately successful game, so while you haven't released a commercial game, basically you are a beginner. I created games since I'm 10 years old or 9, I don't know. But my first commercial game was Hidden Animals, which was released, I don't know, 3 years ago. Before that, I made games, but they didn't make any bucks. And, I had a full-time job at a middle-sized IT company. I was a programmer, a leader programmer, a solution architect, a project manager, and all that stuff in the business sector, which gave me a good basic of how things work, how should I do my stuff. But still, I needed time to learn how the game market works, how I can create a product on this specific market which I can sell. And for that, I was in part-time for 1 year. But I know that you, my friend, you are watching my videos, so probably you know that already. But before you could legitimately say to a group of people that, hey, work on my game and I will give you revenue share, you have to be able to show them something which created money, actually. Because until that, the only motivation factor could be that they enjoy what they do and they want to do that project of yours because somehow it's connected to them. Most cases it means that they want to be in the process of creating the game, designing the game. They can put their ideas into the game. They can make the game to their liking, basically. And sometimes it's just pretty hard, because the more people you have in that game who'd like to express themselves, it means more confrontation, more compromises, and basically just more problems on the long run. And if we just don't look at this as a game project, basically, if you don't show money to people, if it's not a must to do something, it just could be a good thing. While it's a should and it's not a must, people are not really motivated. But it's more connected to self-improvement and general motivation in life. So if they don't want to make a game, as hard as they have to bread, they just won't make a game, because making a game is a chore, man. It's just really boring and tedious after a while. Creating the idea is fun. Maybe testing a game, if it's that kind of stuff what you enjoy to play, it can be fun for a while at least. But actually coding and creating the graphics, and I'm not talking about those beautiful illustrations, the art concepts, because maybe those are fun for a graphic artist. But you have to create those buttons, you have to create those bars, you have to create all the boring stuff, you have to create tons of versions of the very same picture, because this site asks for this resolution, this other one, this other store asks for another one. Here and there is 10 or 5 or 6 or 7 or I don't know how many pixel differences, and it's just really boring. It's just really boring. It's actually work. It's a job to do that. It's not fun. If I wanna have fun, I play FIFA, you know. If I wanna have fun, I play Civilization. If I wanna have fun, I'm playing on my piano. I'm not resizing pictures, and I'm not coding another function into another interface. That's not fun. It's not fun at all. What motivates people is a vision. They must have a vision about this beautiful piece of art, what you have to make. And it doesn't matter if you have money in it or not. If you have this vision and it's your personal goal to achieve it, they will work on it. If you can reach that point, or you are legitimate enough to say them that, guys, if we make this dream of ours come true, because look, I made it already, here is my previous work, then maybe they will believe that they can make a living on the long run. But it's just really hard. It's extremely hard to be an indie game developer, and actually it's just getting worse and worse year after year. It's just, I must say, it's terrible. Since last October, I'm trying to fight the visibility changes on Steam with Facebook ads, but so far, first I thought that it's quite good. Now I'm just losing my faith in that, because I don't have a Facebook pixel to really measure my conversion rate, and also, but it's just really stupid. And also, those ads are just getting more expensive slowly, and I'm trying to increase my budget so I can measure the difference. So you know, if you put 10 times more money into an ad, then you should get 10 times more of those converted customers. And if you can't see 10 times more, but maybe just twice more, it means that something is bad there, or you overestimated the results of that ad. But increasing my budget on those levels are just really hard, because, you know, it's expensive. So it's hard, and it's harder and harder, and always thinking, how will I survive? I just recently made a post, an announcement at Computer Tycoon's page in Steam, that I'm just so worried about the future that I'm starting to lose my original motivation of Computer Tycoon, and I just have to remind myself that I have this vision, I just have this goal. Going back to your questions again, yeah, other motivation than money, revenue share, the only option. Yeah, so what other options could you show? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think you have any more. You don't have more options. For work, you have to pay. For work, you have to pay somehow, even if it's not money. And it's just really hard. Okay, so you have a team of around 10. And okay, so deadlines. Yeah, again, deadlines. Deadlines are just really important, because if you don't have the deadlines, it's not a must to do something. It just would be nice to have something or do something. I know that, and I have to force myself to create deadlines again and again, because otherwise it's not as efficient. And so why they didn't work on the game? Why they complain about the deadlines if you don't have them, and why they are not working when you have them? That's the very same thing. They don't have the vision, they don't have the motivation, uh, they don't have the genuine motivation in themselves. So getting a team is just really hard. It doesn't matter what we are talking about. Working with people is hard, but working with people who are not paid for their work is just another level of hardship. I was a singer in a band for around 3 years, and the drummer was a really nice guy who had this vision of creating this band. The rhythm guitar player and the bass guitar player were also really involved this whole thing. I was also really dedicated. I just fucking enjoyed being in that band. But we needed a solo guitar player, and those were, the guys who just come to our band and left with excuses. Then we got another one. He couldn't pay. Then we got another one who just didn't have the time. Then we got another one who was not able to play on the guitar on a level which could be useful at all. Then the first guy came back and he promised to work again, but then he just disappeared. We didn't even know where he is. We couldn't reach him. We couldn't call him. No call, no show, I just learned this expression today. And he was out in Germany, and he just, guys, I'm going to Germany because I have to work in Germany because there I can earn a lot of money and I cannot miss this opportunity. They couldn't say this sentence to us. He just laughed at us. And people are unreliable. That's a really general thing. And if they don't have the motivation, that's it, man. Often you can read stuff like that if you are alone, you can reach your goals much faster than with other people, and actually that's true. But if you have a team, then you can go further. You can reach bigger goals than you could alone. This is really true, but you need a working team. You need motivated team. You need reliable people. And it's just really hard. And that's it. I can't really give you any advice, because oftentimes I get offers from people like, hey, I want to help you working on Computer Tycoon. I'm a programmer. Okay. So, as I mentioned, I have leading experience from a lot of positions. And I know that it's just not that easy, because if those people don't have the experience, then I had to invest a lot of time into basically teaching them. Also, I have to provide them all the license stuff I have, and I use a lot of licenses. The Unity license and tons of plugin licenses in Unity, and it's very expensive. So I have to buy those, give them to this guy, and check if he can work with me or not. What could be the result? That I wasted a lot of money, and it's expensive. It's just really expensive. And even my time is very expensive to waste on opportunities, those kind of opportunities. And I just know that working together on given tasks which I have in Computer Tycoon, it's just not easy to solve. So basically the problem is that Computer Tycoon is not big enough to separate tasks to more people, because whenever he would like to touch something, he must know the other systems as well on a given level. and learning this whole thing and teaching this whole thing to this guy, even if I'm not talking about the education, the knowledge of Unity and all of those plugins which I use, it's still just too much time. It's just too expensive to me. So alone I can develop the game faster, and it's a too big investment to work with them. Now, if you are building a team of 10 people, then you have to be a really good project manager, and it's just a hard thing to do. And I think that's all. I cannot really give you a good advice, unfortunately. But if you have any more questions, I'm happy to create another video, and see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.